It's a good question because it happens at a number of levels. Given what I've said already in this interview, I actually think that what's really important is we actually understand the rights of First Peoples, and that's an international consideration. And the fact that the whole lot of colonisations which have taken place in every jurisdiction right across the world has had to actually interact with this. The situation that our indigenous people find themselves is extremely similar to every other indigenous population, the Indian population in America, the Inuit in far North America, around Canada. They have disadvantage. The various non-Anglo communities in New Zealand, they are on every measure disadvantaged. There's something around that which needs to be understood as a worldwide phenomenon. So the issue is the positioning of First People. The second issue is that their position of disadvantage has been almost institutionalised in terms of how we see them, and they're also out of sight. So most of us actually only have certain models of seeing them. We see them as problems, we see them as concerns, we see them as lower life expectancy rate, higher smoking rates, higher incarceration rates. So all of the information around them is negative. So we're seeing this group which is actually not just disadvantaged but failing in our terminology. The reality is though that there are a range of people in those communities who are doing really, really well. And that there is enough change to actually warrant this consideration is that generally in society, Aboriginal people can actually advance within this social construct in these institutions. So then the question is, do we take responsibility for creating a perpetual disadvantage, which I think we do have? And then the answer has got to be that in terms of the extent to which they involve themselves or insert themselves or assimilate into Australian society has got to be from, again, their perspective. So the issue for them is not feeling that they have to jump through a specific hoop because that's what government policy says. It's got to start from us, and you're getting very different narratives in the Aboriginal community from those who believe that we've made Aboriginal people too welfare dependent and want the opportunity for people to actually create their own futures. And I think there's a lot of merit in that. But the problem with that is then there are a whole range of social determinants then which actually determine what happens to them. Poor health, high smoking rates, poor nutrition, which are perpetuating factors. So it is about creating enough space for Aboriginal people to be able to self-determine within the parameters that they see comfortable. And I think what's far more important is up to us as a society to actually understand that they are First Peoples, and as such, they have a very particular positioning in our multicultural construct. So from that perspective, at FECA, in our last annual general meeting, we moved and accepted a constitutional change that the FECA Constitution identifies Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders as the first people in Australia, and respectfully says there are areas where we can collaborate, but respectfully also says that we will never be able to assume that they are one cultural group within a multicultural paradigm. It is, and that I think is the rub of this. This is what we need to be able to achieve: respectful consideration of their rights, as well as the maximising of their opportunities.
That's interesting.